Dean, thank you for joining us. It's been a while since we spoke. What have your boys been up to recently?
Firstly, just want to welcome you to the club and look forward to working with you in the future. It's been a while since we've spoken. Yeah, it's been a month maybe. We've had 4 or 5 games with the youth team. Up and down performances really. There's been a lot of changes, players moving into the 21s and players coming through, and the results have shown that really. It's been quite inconsistent. Went to Leicester, Premier League champions, and came away with a 3-2 defeat in a game where we could have really got something out of the game. 2-0 down, brought it back to 2-2, came away with a 3-2 defeat, but actually there was a lot of positives to come from it. And the thing the boys think about is, they're Cat 1, they're Premier League champions, how good are they going to be? But when you get there, and I've said to the boys 100 times, the top 2 are a bit better than us, and the middle group are very much the same, and it's just about consistency, and that's what cost us on the day. Came back into the league, we had successive 2-1 defeats against Stevenage and Cambridge, and another 2-1 defeat in the Cup against Northampton, all here at home at the Hive, and all games that we should have won. And it was really individual errors. We had a number of chances in those games to win the games, and we didn't take them. And such is football. I think in those games they probably would have created 8 or 9 chances in total, and they scored 6 goals. We created 15 to 20 chances, and we scored 3 goals. So off the back of those 3 defeats, not great. Went to Southend at the weekend, almost exactly the same time last year when we were on the back of 3 defeats, the same. And Southend were off the back of 8 wins. And we went there this week, and it was a fantastic performance from the group. We had some boys back from the 21s, and we came out 4-1 winners, and it was a really positive display of the counter-attacking and the intensity that we've been looking at the club. And the boys really deserved the win, and it was one of those games where those individual errors didn't come out, and that's the big difference. And the boys are feeling really good after that game.
And obviously, you say a big win for yourselves, and a few players were involved for Ross's team in the week on Monday. How pleasing is that? And tell us about those guys that were involved, for those who don't perhaps know too much.
It's brilliant. I go and see the manager every week, and we have a chat about things and how players are getting on, and I speak to Rossi regularly. Those boys that need maybe an extra little push to be in the 21s, and Oxford came here during the week, and we had 6 or 7 boys involved, a couple on the bench, a few starting, and they're doing really well. And they're mixing in with their, some of the first team players are in there doing their rehab, coming back from injuries. A couple of boys in there looking for minutes. Jamie Stevens in goal, giving great information to a left back, second year. Centre half, second year, centre half, first year. We've got one boy who's a first year involved off the bench. So brilliant, and they're playing against an Oxford team that had 10 first team players in that have got hundreds and hundreds of Football League appearances in. So it can only be a positive, and the fact that the first half was brilliant, second half lost their way a little bit, but it was an excellent performance from a team full of under-17, under-18 and under-19-year-olds against seasoned professional footballers. So nothing can come out of that but positives.
Obviously, Joe Payne's been up with the first team a few times this season, was in the squad for the Newport game. But some of the other younger lads, Darnell Smith and so on, how good are they, and what have they kind of got to offer?
There's a number of boys that have been doing very well. Joe and Darnell and Efron and Dan have been at the club since they were 11 years old, and they've been in the same team since they were 11 years old. I actually coached Efron and Dan when they were 11. I went in my first stint here before I moved abroad, and it's brilliant to see that they're now on the cusp of completing that journey from signing as an academy player all the way through to playing for the first team, that full cycle, which is what we want to try and achieve, what we achieved with Nana last year in the game at Crawley. But there's a number of boys that are, there's a number of first years, there are a number of under-16s that have caught the manager's eye, and the attitude of the players has been brilliant, and I know for a fact that that's what the manager looks for first. So we really instill in the players that work rate and desire. It doesn't matter how good you are as a footballer, if you can't do the in possession and out of possession work rate, you're not going to be in the first team, you're not going to be in any first team. But as a group they're doing well, they're pushing hard, and I've got high hopes for a number of them.
And finally, this weekend you're playing Gillingham here at the Hive. What do you expect from that game? What challenges do they offer?
It's always a very, very physical game against Gillingham. Last year we drew 3-3. We had a positive performance against them away from home when we won 3-1. We actually scored a couple of our best goals of the season there last year. When they came here, it was torrential rain. It was a horrible day. We were 2-0 down. Got back to 2-2, they went 3-2 ahead, and then we equalised in the 90th minute. Nana ran through and banged one into the corner, and everyone was off diving in the corner. It was a brilliant game to be a part of. But they've got very, very physical centre forwards. they can play, but they're strong, they're physical, quite direct. So our defensive work will have to be good. Picking up first and second balls will have to be good. We've done a lot of work in organising our defensive unit over the last couple of weeks, which paid dividends against Southend. So we'll just be looking for the boys to carry that on, that positive mindset from Southend, and make sure that we don't go from 3 defeats to a win and then back to where we were before. So hopefully they'll come out another 3 points and push on to next week at Luton.
Fantastic, Dean. Thank you for your time.
Thanks a lot.